back on Pop OS. I am always writing shit down, right? So you can't see that, but that's my notes. And my notes say that we have to talk about Python. Wait! Before we go any further, I was editing this video and realized that I didn't really actually talk about what Python is before talking about why it's so popular. So let's talk about what it is first. Python is an object-oriented programming language. Object-oriented programming is a whole video on its own. If you want to learn more, you may look elsewhere. Python is also an interpreted language. So what does that mean? Python is made from C, which is another programming language. It's interpreted through that. C programming will get compiled into assembler, which is then compiled into ones and zeros. And assembler is like its own sort of language that's just, don't go near it. Yeah, so C goes into assembler, and assembler goes into machine code, whereas Python gets compiled into C. Well, it's not really, it's compiled at the time of running a function, so it's interpreted that way. So when you run a print function in Python, it will interpret that line at that time. It makes Python on the likes of microcontrollers and things like that a bit slower. I think that we've outlined enough things about what Python is. Now that we've cleared all that up, let's go and see why Python's so popular with some examples. So back to me. Let's look at the first point about it being easy to get started with. It's easier to get started with on Linux than it is on Windows. So let me see. Hello world.py, right? And then if I do, that's it. No, it's not printf, it's just print, isn't it? And that's it. If we just go fucking skibbity bap and bap. That's it. Printed hello world. That's how simple it is on Linux. Deceptively powerful. So this is an R thing, right? So I'm gonna have to go to the web browser for this. So Python at the moment in general purpose use case that I've seen it used regularly is for data science. Python has loads of libraries and packages you can use. This is just one, which is matplotlib, and it's basically maths Python. All this is sort of done as well, so you can just go and pull an example. So we use this one. Yep, we'll take this and we'll plot a sink function. Not a sink like a kitchen sink. Yeah, let's just go plot this yoke. It's not going to be hello world anymore, it's going to be this, and I may need to actually install these packages, but that's fine, that's really easy to do. So we can do hello world. Okay, that's fine. This is how easy Python is. You just need to type pip, it'll be pip3 because I have Python 3. Install numpy. And I'll just go and get it off the internet. That's how easy it is and powerful Python is. Just to install shit. Whenever that installs, I'll show you the Nyquist waveform, or not Nyquist waveform, the sync function, and show you how easy it is just to get something like that up and running. Whereas if you had to do that in C, it would just be a fucking mess. Wouldn't be a mess, it would just take a bit of time. Okay, let's just fucking plot this. 2D sync function here. Oh, no. Here we go. There we go, there's our sink function. As you can see, it looks nothing like a kitchen sink, but yeah, that's the 2D version on the X and the Y. Now, if we do the fucking on the Z and X, it's gonna look even funkier. There we go, top-down version of the sink function. And that's how easy it is with Python. That's how powerful Python is. Google has their own TensorFlow library, that's what it's called, and it's basically for machine learning and things like that, so that your computer can basically distinguish between a cat and a slightly bigger cat. But yeah, Python can do all that sort of stuff with machine learning and data analysis and everything else. It's deceptively powerful. It's multi-platform as well, so Python can be used on multiple different platforms, and what I mean by platforms is it can be used on an embedded device. So this is an embedded device. So these are microcontrollers, and these microcontrollers, where would they live? They would live in like your USB device and be able to tell the USB to talk to the storage on your computer and vice versa. That's a microcontroller. That's an Arduino. And if you haven't heard about Arduino, then you should go look up Arduino, because Arduino is like the base level entry for microcontrollers, and it's like the easiest to get up and running with. But basically you can get like things like that on Arduino, or if you're in the UK, BBC Microbit, and Python can run on, I think Python can run on this. Yep, you can get Python to run the BBC Microbit, so you can get it to run on microcontrollers. You can create desktop apps with Python, like a graphical user interface with this module like tkinter, or you can use GTK. So let's look at tkinter first. Tkinter is probably easier to get started with, but it's like a Python package which allows you to create graphical user interfaces, something like that. That loads, it's a shit resolution, or like that. So yeah, you can use tkinter to make your own graphical user interface, or you can use GTK. GTK uses Python as well. It works on embedded devices, it works for web APIs and things like that, and it works for graphical user interfaces on a computer as well. So it's multi-platform, which makes it extra powerful, and it means that it's easier to get involved with. Like it's kind of harder to get involved with the likes of C, well, for a number of reasons. The learning curve is less on Python as well. Another thing is Python's well documented, and because it's so popular, there's tons of examples. Like I was able to go and grab this from this website. This is the matplotlib package website, but I was able to go grab this example and show it in a matter of seconds because it's so well documented. Then there's this website, Tutorials Point. It's really good as well. Can integrate with other languages easily, so I'm kind of touching on this at the minute, and that's because you can use Python with the likes of Ruby. You can call Python scripts from here. You can call Python scripts from Bash. So you can, as you can see, I'm just calling Python 3 on the terminal, and it's running it. So you can do that as well. So Python's pretty flexible. If we're to sum it up in 3 words: flexible, scalable, and cross-platform. I don't know if that counts as 2 words or 1 word. But yeah, that's why Python's so popular, and why it's used basically by everyone. Everyone in the software industry at some point will have used Python, I would imagine.